When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack and Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use, and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack and Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Since opening their doors in 1905, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply has worked with Indiana homeowners and contractors to provide quality building materials. Today, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply proudly serves Indiana from their locations in Cherville, Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Lafayette. A department for every room in your home, from building support to bathroom kitchens and more. They can even help you design your next project. Visit VonTobels.com for more information. Von Tobel, building better together. Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
Welcome back to the Inferno in Lowell, Indiana. At the half, Crown Point leads Lowell 21-0 in Week 1 here in Northwest Indiana. And welcome back again as Von Tobel Building Supply presents game night in the region right here on the Region Sports Network. Von Tobel, building better together. And also, you're right now watching the Hose Connections halftime report brought to you by Hose Connections on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. Visit them on the web at hoseconnectionsinc.com. Hose Connections, proven under pressure. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Ashenbaugh. And Doug, at the start of this game, we thought that this could get out of hand real fast. Crown Point not only scored on their first 3 drives, but they were fast. 5 plays or less on each of them. And Lowell just couldn't seem to get their offense going. And then all of a sudden, the tide's starting to turn. A key pick in the end zone for Lowell in the back corner. I mean, it was a big interception by Kalwinski. And then they're able to get that stop on 4th and short on Larry Ellison, who's been churning his feet all day. Where do you see this game going as we get ready for half number 2?
Of course. So, I mean, if you really break this down, it was 21-0 in the first quarter. Crown Point didn't score in the second quarter. So when you talk about the Lowell Red Devil defense wins, right, maybe not be on the scoreboard right now, is the defense did play well. They gave up some big plays. Yes, they did. Don't get me wrong. But the defensive line started applying pressure in the second quarter. They got Noah scrambling to his opposite throwing hand, trying to flip hips, and we saw some short passes and overthrows that took place there. We didn't see that completely high-power offense like we did in the first quarter. So a win headed into the locker room for the Devils there. On Crown Point on the other side, obviously you're going in saying, hey, our defense is playing lights out right now. They can't move the ball on us. We're going to continue to keep doing so. Offense, let's get back on our feet and get going again. So I think what you see when you come out here is you're probably going to see some very well defensive play on both sides of the ball. Lowell's defense started to wake up, okay? And then you're going to see maybe Crown Point open up a little bit more of their playbook that they didn't in the first half. Maybe some deeper passes, maybe some 5 wide receiver sets that we only saw once in that first half by Crown Point. And then on the opposite side for the Lowell Red Devils, I keep trying to call it all night. I haven't seen it yet, but you got to try to stick to some inside power running and stop trying to stretch the field against these very fast linebacking crew for the Crown Point Bulldogs. So if the defense can come out and continue to play that bend, don't break mentality, and the offense can get just a little bit of success and get some things moving, you can make it a very tight game. The depends on, I think, the Lowell Red Devil defense and how they come out and if they can stop that offense again like they did in the second quarter.
Let's talk about running backs for a moment there while we're on the topic. Colton Scott was listed as the number one. He's gotten the bulk of the carries today. He had a solid kick return in the first half, but he really has struggled to get it going in the backfield. Meanwhile, Owen Thiel, on his lone run of the day, was able to get a solid gain. Do you see a switch in the second half?
I don't think you go with a switch so quick. Honestly, you may see now kind of like a dual threat, maybe getting Owen back involved a little bit more between kind of like that 1-2 punch. But I think it's still way too early on to see what happened, especially against a very tough defense at this point where you don't just kind of abandon that ship. I think Colton Scott will still get his carries like we saw in the first half, but I think you may see a little bit more of Owen Thiel to get some positive yards too as well. He is more of that kind of the power back. You see him kind of go up the gut a little bit more than you do Colton Scott trying to get outside and stretch the defense. So I think you're going to see a little bit more of that Owen Thiel where they want to hit inside and gain some tough positive yards. Maybe it only be 3 or 4 yards, but you're going to see that 1-2 punch, I believe, in the second half.
Flipping sides to Larry Ellison. At the start of this game, he seemed invincible. A guy who you'll be seeing, at least from my eyes, a guy who will be hearing his name on Saturdays when his time in high school is over.
Yeah.
And then he started to get a little quiet, including a couple of key fourth downs.
He did. Yeah, absolutely. And again, some of those fourth downs were a little bit longer than that 5-6 yards that he was constantly gaining. But I also think that's a testament, too, as well to the Crown Point Bulldog offense of trying things, trying different things, trying to open up their playbook a little bit more to get that real-life game time kind of exposure that you don't see in practice. I mean, up 21-0 in the first quarter, you're feeling pretty good. It's it's not very high pressure like you said at that point in time. So open it up, trying to see what plays do work, what plays don't work. I think that's why we saw him tail off a little bit more. But I bet you on that very first offensive drive, they're going to try to turn around and hand the ball off and see what he did like he did in the first quarter again.
And then quarterback play before we get to scores and stats on the other side of this next break. Crago has been able to get out of the pocket on occasion. We haven't seen him go downfield a whole lot. Meanwhile, Noah Ehrlich has come back down to earth, as is the rest of the Crown Point offense, since those first 3 drives. Evaluate that. Yeah,
of course. So I think what we saw from Noah is he didn't have much pressure too, and that's nothing, taken away. He's got some great skills, athletic ability. But when you start getting pressure from your backside and you got to roll out and try to flip your hips with some, Malachi James that's on your back. We saw him, obviously said his name a lot too. It's tough. So I think that's what happened is that Noah started to see a little bit more pressure, which he had to rush throws or, he's trying to roll out and throw without flipping his hips. But nonetheless is still making very good decisions, right? That one that was an interception in the end zone that took place there was just slightly thrown. Outside of that, you've been seeing where his balls are going. They've been on point. The one he threaded over here in between the corner and the safety for the Lowell Red Devil defense, I mean, that's a phenomenal throw. As easy as it may look like on video, that's a very tough throw to go there. And then you flip it over, obviously, to the Red Devil side, Cargo, and he's really got to get some things going. Coach was trying to get him some short passes and make the confidence kind of build up. Not having much success in the run game. But, again, it's his very first game. He's made some mistakes. We saw some delayed games like we talked about. You don't steer away from that. Kilmer's going in there saying, hey, man, keep your chin up. You're just now getting your feet wet. We're going to continue to keep calling your number, right, in the second half. Let's see what you can do.
It's about 7.5 minutes until Crown Point gets the football to receive the second half kickoff. We'll be back with more of the halftime show. On the other side, you are watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
Have you checked out Center Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack & Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual card, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strack & Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strackandvantil.com.
Since opening their doors in 1905, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply has worked with Indiana homeowners and contractors to provide quality building materials. Today, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply proudly serves Indiana from their locations in Cherville, Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Lafayette. A department for every room in your home, from building support to bathroom kitchens and more. They can even help you design your next project. Visit VonTobels.com for more information. Von Tobel, building better together.
Welcome back to Lowell, Indiana. Crown Point leads 21-0 over Lowell. Just about 4 minutes left before the second half gets underway, and it's time for a scoreboard update that's brought to you by Strack & Van Til. Strack & Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Ashenbaugh. Doug, what's going on around the state?
Yeah, of course there. So these are our last updates that we obviously had. Some things may have changed in the past couple minutes and whatnot, but we got the Valparaiso Vikings are currently down to the Penn Kingsmen 21-32 in the second. We got Hammond Central Wolves up big 29-6 in the third over South Bend Washington Panthers. Kankakee Valley Central Cougars up 21-7 over Rensselaer Central Bombers at halftime. Whiting Oilers up big over the Osceola Grace 34-14 in the third. Then we flip it over. We got the number 9 Calumet Warriors 8, Plymouth Rockies 14. So right now our number 9 is currently down at the halftime. Flip it over to Andrean 59ers and number 3 Maryville Pirates. Maryville up 14-6 in half. Number 4 Hobart Brickies tied up 7-7 with the Chesterton Trojans. Number 2, Crown Point Dogs, as we said here, 21-0 over number 8, Lowell Red Devils. Griffith Panthers, right now, new head coach Mason over there, is currently tied up with the number 10 Highland Trojans, 7-7 at half. New Prairie Cougars, 8. LaPorte Slicers, 10 at half. And lastly, we got our number 5 Hanover Central Wildcats up with a goose egg, 19-0 over the Wheeler Bearcats.
Follow all of tonight's region football scores live on the Strack & Van Til hometown scoreboard, streaming on Facebook.com/regionsports and regionsports.com. Strack & Van Til, shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strackandvantil.com. Crown Point scored on their first 3 drives of the first half. It was Larry Ellison the first 2 times and Noah Ehrlich the third time. All their touchdowns came on the ground before a key pick by Kowalski and then a couple of key 4th down stops for Lowell. Crown Point gets the ball when we come back on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life takes you places and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strack & Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use and it can save you time and money. Once your order is in, our own Strack & Van Til team preps your order with care. For delivery or pickup, enjoy the convenience of letting our to-go team shop for you. Enjoy your special moments. Sign up online today at shop.strackandvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
We are back in Lowell, Indiana at the Inferno. Crown Point leads Lowell 21-0 as we get ready to start the second half of play. Crown Point will receive the kickoff to start the second half. I'm Matt Sossler alongside Doug Ashenbaugh. Like I mentioned, for those of you just joining us, Crown Point came out on fire. The Bulldogs scored on their first 3 drives, all on the ground, 2 from Larry Ellison and the 3rd from Noah Ehrlich. And then the Lowell defense started to stand tall. Both teams were shut out in the second half. But the key thing for Lowell here, Doug, is getting the offense in order, because Crown Point in the second half, if they play keep away, they're going home with a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. The offense has to get some success going and move the ball. Normal, typical Lowell football is we're going to run it and we're going to get 3 yards a pop, and hey, that's 12 yards, but we're going to keep moving the chains on you and eat some clock up. We haven't seen that much from the offense. There's been a lot more passing in Lowell's offense this year so far, week 1, than I think I've seen in the past few years coming down. But nonetheless, that's going to be keys. Can they get some success? Can they get the ball moving, move the chains, or is that defense from Crown Point going to continue to keep playing lights out?
Both teams go over some final news and notes. This will be the first kickoff by Lowell. Landon Rosenthal will get ready to boot it away. A key absence for Lowell, Isaiah Sanchez, is inactive for today's game with a leg injury. But the secondary has stood tall. I mentioned that Kalwinski had that interception in the end zone. He's the direct backup to Isaiah Sanchez. The return game has been solid. We've seen a couple of big ones from Lowell so far. But they're definitely feeling his absence tonight.
They sure are. They are. They are doing well. The corners there that you got there. And Max Arredondo, obviously, I talked about him a lot in the first, being in the right spots at the right time. Having some saving touchdown tackles, too, as well. He's been playing very well. Kolwinski, too, as well, like you talked about. But overall, they've been playing pretty well, especially that second quarter, where they started to see some incompletes. We saw that interception that took place in the end zone, too, as well. They need to continue to keep that success on the Lowell Red Devils defense while continuing that DN pressure that they've been having a lot of success in.
And before the teams take the field, Lowell comes back and wins if
their offense can get going. That's key. And as simple as it may sound, I mean, that is key. They have to try and find some success here. Whatever they made, the adjustments and things they saw in halftime and talked about, even if it doesn't end up being on the scoreboard at the end of the night, they need to win the second half, and it starts with that offense.
Crown Point has shut out Lowell for 6 straight quarters dating back to last year. It was a 42-0 score in favor of the Bulldogs up at their place just a little bit over a year ago today. On a gorgeous Friday night in Northwest Indiana, temperatures in the mid to high 70s, a little bit humid, but you couldn't ask for a better evening.
Not too bad. Got a nice little cool breeze, some very good football weather, I'll tell you that. That's the first kickoff return for the season here for the Crown Point Bulldogs.
Yes, indeed. And like I said, the first kickoff for Landon Rosenthal. Be the first we see of Josh Eberly. He's back for the Bulldogs. You also have Nick Soley on the far side. And then the so dangerous Jacob Jones is the man in the middle.
No, the scoreboard's 21-0. I'll tell you what, though, this Lowell crowd is still in it. And when you talk about they really back their team, they are still in it, cheering louder than ever. You hear the RDP chant still going. They're going to continue to try to lift up their team out there and get them through the second half.
21-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. And now they reset the clock. And we're ready to roll for half number 2 in Lowell, Indiana at the Inferno. A sky-high kick. Hands are up as they play on A gigantic scrum in the middle of the field. A short kick from Rosenthal.
And not a bad call right there, right? Kick it short, and you get your coverage team down there much quicker, too, as well. And you're also not getting it in those back three athletes that you talked about there that got a lot of speed, right? No big plays right after the first half is good. So I like that call there. Kick it short, let your coverage team go down and make a tackle, and you saw a whole gang of the Lowell Red Devils there.
Logan Rodriguez on the powerful return. Point of reference, Rodriguez is 5'10", 180. You kick it to a guy like Jacob Jones, you're looking at 5'8", 165. Two completely different athletes.
Yes.
In that regard, first down and 10 for the Crown Point Bulldogs. They look to enhance their 3-score lead. Ehrlich keeps it on the play action, and it's complete to Mulaski for the first down.
And again, I talked about the throws that Ehrlich makes. I can tell you right there that is extremely hard of a throw, especially at a high school level there. I mean, that he was back shoulder. He put it exactly where his receiver was the only one that'd be able to catch that. I mean, that is next level of what he's showing right there with his skills.
Not only that, Mulaski, 6'5", 245. That's a giant frame and a giant target for Ehrlich. Gibbs is in motion. Hand off to Ellison, goes right down Main Street and is able to power through right near the line to gain. He'll be a tad short, brings up second down and 1.
Simple power run, dive hole, hitting that, and just again, Ellison with the very strong legs, being able to go up the middle. He's been chunking out those 6-7 yard plays a lot with that running game. It's just, you got some very big offensive linemen. They know how to move their feet. They know how to open up some gaps, and Ellison's taking advantage of that.
Camden Sorky comes on. Gibbs trots off. So a more agile look for Crown Point on second and short. Ehrlich, screen pass to Soley. Soley has room, shakes a body before he's forced out of bounds, but back-to-back quality plays by Crown Point to start the half.
Of course, and again, we're sawing those real quick little, almost like wide receiver screen in a way where they start off running streaks and one man breaks back, and it's biting them corners and safeties to drop back real hard. And you're given a cushion of about 10 yards after pitch and catch there. That's Crown Point's been running that all night and exposing those defensive backs.
Crown Point yet again is in plus territory. Ehrlich, handoff to Ellison. But he's dragged down. Another good first down run by Larry Ellison. And Crown Point, with this lead, is going to continue to play the run game as long as they can.
Of course, yeah. Nice little mix there, a little play action, short, little wide receiver screen pass, turn around, give it to Ellison, let him do what he does, and very powerful. They got a nice little mix going here on this drive.
Soley and Delic are on the bottom of the formation. Ehrlich, another run action. Under some trouble, takes it himself. Shakes another tackle before he's finally dragged down. Sepp goes in on the stop, but you've mentioned the athleticism from Ehrlich, and he showcased it there.
He sure did. That's just a simple play action rollout, great coverage. It looked like he had his tight end maybe in the middle, but it's a tough throw thrown across your body. And again, boom, that athleticism that we talked about, he was able to show it off and move the chains.
Another first down for the Bulldogs. Pitch black skies, the lights are on in late August, and you know what that means. Friday Night Football is back. Empty set. Ehrlich swings out to Ellison, one of the first times that we've seen his pass-catching abilities there, but a strong downhill run by Kalwinski to limit the damage.
Yeah, of course. Kalwinski definitely came up on that corner. He saw that halfback swing pass coming up out of the backfield, and he made a nice jump, breaking off of his coverage from the receiver out there to stop what could have been even a longer gain if he did not make that play.
This time Ellison joins Ehrlich in the backfield. Ehrlich, another screen, and close to another first down to Camden Sorky.
Yeah, just short there, but I guess if it isn't broken, don't fix it. They've been going back to those little short wide receiver screen plays there, and they're having tremendous success with that. The linebackers are far away, the corners and safeties are dropping back, and it's leaving a wide open pocket.
Dink and duck until it doesn't work.
Yes.
Ehrlich Settles down, has a wide open man. It's caught for the touchdown. Seamus Mulaski, his first on the season and the first passing touchdown from Ehrlich. And Crown Point enhances their lead. It's 27-0.
What we just talked about is the wide receiver screen. So if you saw right there on that last play, they faked the wide receiver screen and now they hit the streak. So after hitting that play so many times, that safety bit up thinking, here it comes again. And it opened right up over the top, and it was just a nice dime that was thrown by Noah Ehrlich there in the end zone. You talk about the play setting, right? Setting up your plays. I don't know if you could have set that up more perfect.
Oliver Brewer trots on for his fourth PAT attempt. And his perfect night continues. So Crown Point does their job on the first drive of the half. We'll step aside. Lowell gets their first attempt. When we come back, you are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals and bridges, everywhere you look, union carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back to the Inferno in Lowell, Indiana. The Crown Point Bulldogs just scored their fourth touchdown of the evening. They lead 28-0 over the Lowell Red Devils. Lowell gets ready to receive their first kickoff of the second half. Short kick, backpedaling. Scott on their return, breaks another. His second large one of the day, has one man to beat. And coming through clutch and making the tackle is Griffin Van Telchet. What could have been a touchdown-saving tackle, and that's a bright spot for Lowell.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's the second return he's had on the night. That's been very, very positive. That shows his speed that he does have and why he is playing in the backfield. And they've been doing a lot of stretch plays with him, trying to get him out in open field. But a great return there and some great field position. This is where we talked about at halftime. You got to start seeing some positive movement here by the Lowell Red Devil offense.
Cameron Crago returns for the second half. First down and 10. Handoff right up the middle to Caden Thompson.
Yeah, you got a new back there right now that just took that right up the middle. 2 yards there, but that's okay. It's positive. That's what you need to have. Is just put some positive yards together there. But, yeah, Caden Thompson is a new back, not Theo or Colton Scott back there.
Sometimes a coach saves his best for last, potentially.
Hey.
We'll give him 1 yard. Second down and 9. Crago, a deep shot. Rogers.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a flag on that.
And that is a flag. A collision just before the football came through, and that's going to help out Lowell.
Great play call there. You just had, up the dive. What you do is a play action. You're going to get single covered man-to-man over there and let your athlete go up. And unfortunately for Crown Point Bulldogs, just got in the way just a little bit too much and got the pass interference call that took place. But I like that. Go out there, throw it up, let your athlete go up there and see what happens.
Yeah, Kendall stands 6'1", 174. And that was definitely a go up and get it.
Yeah,
it's one of the first deep balls we've seen from Crago tonight.
Yeah. Nice arm, though. I mean, he had great accuracy where it was at, so it looks like when he can settle his feet, he can sling that ball around the field a little bit.
A big penalty brings up first down and 10 for the Red Devils.
Looks like the junior Caden Thompson still back there as well.
Just under 4 minutes left, just under 4 minutes in to this second half. Like Doug said, Thompson's still in the backfield. Crago on the roll, another deep attempt. And this one's picked off, going back the other way, off of the tip. Running with room is Jalen Kelly.
Interception made by number 10, Kelly.
And a critical error following a couple of big plays by the Red Devils. Crown Point gets the ball back.
They had some momentum going. They had the the run, then they had the penalty. You kind of started seeing some fresh breath there in that Red Devil offense. Unfortunately, you had 3 receivers in the area with 4 defensive backs. It hit his receiver. It hit him in the hands, and it bobbled up in the air. It just didn't come down their way. It was a big interception to stop that momentum by the Crown Point Bulldogs.
If this was baseball, that would be an unearned interception.
Yes, indeed.
On Cam Crago. Kelly had 2 picks last year. He's halfway to his total here in week number 1. And now Crago will watch the defense go to work and try and give him the ball back.
And Lowell right there is just really trying to break it over the top. I think what you do there is it's setting up any kind of inside runs. And then after the inside run success, you set up the play action. So, maybe it's a little bit more telling to what we're going to continue to see from the Red Devil offense.
First down and 10 for Crown Point. Another play action. Under some pressure. And another deep ball. And almost a fantastic catch on the leap by Jacob Soley. But great double coverage by the Red Devils brings up second down.
He had some pressure over there too as well by Benjamin Ruda. He was having him roll out again, but he had enough time to flip his hips, and you can see the difference when he's able to flip his hips and get down the throw. It was just off the fingertips of his receiver, but arm strength, wow. And that ball was up there for quite some time, and it was right on the money. Unfortunately, didn't come down with it.
And Ruda's been getting to the backfield a lot tonight.
Yes, he has. That pressure from the D-line's been looking really good.
Second down, another pass. This time it's complete and a beautiful break of the tackle by Soley. And a first down for Crown Point.
Yeah, calling Zoli's name again, obviously out there too. But yeah, Brody Kolwinski and Nolan Sepko over there after the missed tackle. Breaking it down. A lot of those screens that we've been seeing has gone for a lot more yardage than that last play. So maybe they're starting to pick up a little bit on it, changing the defense up. You saw them spread out the linebackers a little bit more to kind of take away that outside edge.
Crown Point is playing a low tempo, trying to chew as much clock as possible with a 4-score lead almost halfway through this third quarter. Run right up the middle to Ellison. But that inside linebacking crew of Lowell does their job. Wolgamuth, though, coming back from the D-line, and Malachi James, that dynamic duo, they're having a day-to-day, and their name's going to be called a lot the rest of the season.
They sure are. They've shown they were able to put a lot of pressure. They're able to scrape down the line of scrimmage, too, as well, when it's up those gut kind of runs. But again, you flip it over to Ellison. I still 5 yards on that, man. You talk about some powerful running downhill. He's been showcasing that tonight.
Second down and 5. Quick pass to Soley. Has some green grass, keeps on churning, runs into his own man.
Again, we call Max Arredondo's name, and here he is in the right spot at the right time. Now, he's at the safety position there, so yeah, that he made that tackle 10, 15 yards down the field, but he has been flying all across the field in that backfield all night.
Yeah, Cam Sorky got in the way and was blocking Soley's path. Gave Arnaudo time to come up and make the play. And those are just some week one traffic issues. Another first down, handoff to Ellison, and another solid gain. Slow to get up for Crown Point.
Yeah, he took a nice hard shot there. Nice off tackle, though. It was really where they kind of been going to the right side towards the Red Devil sideline all day, faking it and throwing the wide receiver screens. Nice little off tackle play over there that you saw. I thought, we saw a little bit better of a wall in the blocking, but you talk about the linebacker play over there by number 76, Blake Cuenta, and that was just a great open field tackle, too, as well, with some speed like that.
Brock Allen was slow to get up for Crown Point in the backfield. He remains in the game. Second down and short for Crown Point. And they'll take their first timeout of the half. So 28-0 in favor of the Bulldogs. They're driving for the second time here in the second half. And While we have a minute, Mayor Pete Land and the Crown Point Pace Department are proud to support Crown Point Bulldog football and say, go Bulldogs! Crown Point remains dedicated to preserving history, celebrating everyday life, providing the best in-city services, and encouraging smart growth. Mayor Land and the Pace team invite everyone to Bulldog Park for a variety of concerts, including Lone Star, with special guest Jameson Rogers on September 3rd. For more information, contact the Pace Department at 219-661-2271. Matt Sossler alongside Doug Ashenbaugh. Crown Point has a 4-score lead over the Lowell Red Devils here on a gorgeous late August Friday night in Northwest Indiana. Number 8 versus number 2 in a Week 1 showdown.
Currently right now, too, Crown Point's really in charge. Obviously shows on the scoreboard. But when you talk about the drives they're putting together here, it's not those big over-the-top scoring in 2 plays like we saw on that very first drive. They really are opening up the playbook. They're trying a lot of things. They're moving the chains. They're getting some very good in-game experience right now for the rest of the season.
2nd down and 4, run action. It's complete to Gibbs. Gibbs is going to rumble and stumble. He keeps on going with some green grass, and he's finally dragged down by Seth Rinfus. Big man on big man football right there, and another 1st down for the Bulldogs.
6'3", 230 Trevor Gibbs in open space. God, that guy can move. He got some speed, and when you got that big of a guy coming downhill, that's tough to take down. We saw that in that last play. Nice little slip-out screen from the H-back position, and he had some green grass in front of him, broke a couple tackles, and kept running.
1st down, it's Ellison with the speed. He gets close to the line again. James on the tackle. And this Crown Point team, they have a semi that can go down I-65 from Chicago to Indy. They also got that Corvette.
They sure do. Again, they're just up the gut. Dive and power plays have been so successful all night with that middle of the Red Devils defense. Again, you have defensive end coming back up to make tackles. That shows how well that offensive line is also playing up the middle.
2nd down and 1. Ehrlich to Ellison, green grass, and Crown Point enhances their lead to 34-0.
Yeah, 6-yard little dive play, and again, those lanes are just opening wide open for the Ellison to run through. That's all credit to his offensive line. I guarantee he's going on that sideline. He's been patting helmets all night, thanking his offensive line, because they've been playing electric all night, opening up those gaps for him.
Whatever the post-game meal is tonight, I think Ellison might be putting a heavy bill. Brewer on for the PAT. He's 4 for 4 so far tonight. Low snap. And make that 5 for 5. And to focus on Brewer, it's got to be a huge confidence booster in his first game, just getting those little chip shots.
Yeah. Hey, 5 for 5. You got a touchback too as well early in the game. I mean, he's got some leg power.
Crown Point has scored on their first 2 drives in half number 2. We'll be back on the other side of this break. You're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to the Inferno in Lowell, Indiana, in the waning moments of the third quarter. Crown Point, the Bulldogs lead Lowell Red Devils 35-0. I'm Matt Sossler alongside Doug Aschenbaugh. Squig kick from Crown Point, picked up clean on the return, and Lowell will start at their own 31-yard line. One thing to note, with it being a 5-score game, we will have a running clock for the moment, so that is something to keep in the back of your mind as this contest rolls along.
Now the Red Devils obviously got even more against their backs against the wall with the running clock here.
And look at this. Ask and you shall receive. Colton Scott to the end zone. Reservations for 6.
And the Inferno Fire is going. It's great to see, obviously, getting them on the board and having some success for the Red Devils. But it was just a straight up-the-gut power run. And that's what Lowell has really been about for many years with that powerful run up the gut. And they had some success on it. So, hey, maybe we go back, if it's not broke, don't fix it like I was talking about earlier there. But, man, the speed and breakaway speed that you just saw from Colton Scott there, he really pulled away. I thought that safety was going to be able to make a tackle, and he just started putting yardage behind him.
69 yards to glory for Colton Scott. Puts Lowell on the board. And now the first extra point attempt for the Red Devils. Dalton McCray on. And his first attempt has plenty of mileage.
One thing to note, too, as well on that is Zach Shark on that play. I don't know if you saw that tight end blocking down the middle of the field to open up. That linebacker was starting to scrape, and Shark came through that tight end block. Again, getting those athletic tight ends in the middle of the field and blocking on the second level, safeties, linebackers, that was a big reason why that play was very successful there for Colton Scott to take that, straight down the middle, is when you can have your tight ends and even your tackles get to that second level and be able to block.
The running clock stops because of the score. Currently sits at 48 seconds. I'm assuming we'll have some time added back before we hit the quarter break and the teams flip fields. But that call and response, the first time that we've seen that so far tonight. If Lowell gets a stop here, what do you like as we head into the fourth quarter?
I mean, you continue to go to it. I've talked about it all night. Is Lowell is extremely popular for their run game and how powerful they can be up the gut. I think once you can kind of sniff that success out, go back to it. Make sure it wasn't a fluke kind of thing. Get your offense comfortable with that and confident, and start defining your offense a little bit about maybe more some powerful running up the middle, and get them athletes out past the line of scrimmage against other athletes and show what they can do in their athleticism.
The biggest play of the night comes courtesy of Colton Scott. And it's an interesting situation, Doug. Do we see an onside kick in this situation?
I think here, with the way they've been scoring, I don't know if you want to give them that short kind of field. I would say you still kick it out deep. Try to get him, maybe pin him back deep a little bit and get a quick 3 and out on that. Maybe once you start getting to the fourth quarter after another score or so, you may dabble with that onside kick.
The second kickoff attempt for Landon Rosenthal tonight. He did a sky kick his first time. That was to open the second half.
Stop the clock after the say it again.
This time around goes with a sky kick again, but this time it finds the back row. They thought that there was a fair catch, but a solid return by Jones gets tackled at the 30, and that's where Crown Point takes over.
Yeah, down there first was Tristan Lamping right there. He was actually able to slow him down. That was a big wall. They had about 4 or 5 big guys that he got and tucked behind, and Lamping was able to get back there and slow him down and get a hand on him. That allowed for the rest of the Red Devil coverage team to get down there and make that gang tackle.
The clock is running. There's 25 on the play clock, 30 currently on the game clock. The play clock has not started yet, and they are now even, so it looks like that will be the last play of the third quarter. I wouldn't see Crown Point come out here.
Yeah, still on their sideline. I think they're going to look to take this into the fourth.
10 seconds, the clock winds, and we will head to the final frame here at the Inferno. Crown Point adds on 2 scores. Lowell replies with 1. It's 35-7 in favor of the Bulldogs as we head to the fourth You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Since opening their doors in 1905, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply has worked with Indiana homeowners and contractors to provide quality building materials. Today, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply proudly serves Indiana from their locations in Cherville, Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Lafayette. A department for every room in your home, from building support to bathroom kitchens and more. They can even help you design your next project. Visit VonTobels.com for more information. Von Tobel, building better together.
Welcome back to the Inferno in Lowell, Indiana. The start of quarter number 4 on a running clock. Crown Point has the football, up 35-7 over the Lowell Red Devils. And new running back in the game, Nico Pavlu, takes his reps. Ehrlich is also out of the game. It's the backup Logan Hatton. He starts off right away. Another big gain, flag on the play as Josh Eberle gets dragged down. But let's see what the infraction is.
Once again, calling his name Max Arredondo, coming across from the opposite side safety field and making an open field, touchdown saving tackle. Been saying his name a lot, but the play he has, I mean, look where he's lined up right now. This is exactly where he came from the opposite side of the field. He has been lights out, honestly, for that Red Devil defense. I think that's 3 touchdown saving tackles he's had on the night, a couple pass breakups against a very high-powered offense that throws the ball quite a bit. That kid's having one heck of a night tonight playing.
And he's going to be around a while. He's only a sophomore.
Sure is. I mean, you talk about a sophomore playing the way he has. I get the score shows 35-7, but when you really break things down and you start pinpointing those plays that are making out there, we've been calling Max's name a lot tonight.
It's a hold on the Bulldogs, so that backs them up just inside the opposite 40. Hat, another screen that's just north of the outstretched hands of Eberle.
Just outside of his hands, and they're running those little quick slip routes when you have a streak and a go route kind of on the outside, and it really takes those safeties and corners back, and now you're putting your outside linebacker to cover a quick slip out route. That's very tough. It's a nice play call there, and it's a little quick pass for Noah. Again, those little quick passes turn into a 5-yard catch, but you run for 15, 20 yards afterwards, just unfortunately outside of his hands.
Again, the clock will continue to run for the remainder of this contest. Logan Hatt.
They're going to have to hurry up and try to get this ball off. They got 3 seconds left on the play clock.
2, now 1. The ball is not snapped. The clock hits double zeros. That's the second delay of game on Crown Point, the 4th total today. The first for the number 2 unit for the Bulldogs, and that'll back them up 5 yards.
Yeah, like you said, new quarterback in there, Logan Hatt, out there at the Realms, and it looked like there was a little bit of substitution issues trying to get them in real quick and just ran out of time.
First down and long. Hatt hands off to Pavlu, bounces off, breaks 1, breaks 2, has some green grass, gets near the sticks and breaks even more, rumbling and stumbling past the barriers.
Yeah, that's junior over there, Nico Pavlu. And wow, what a powerful run there. I mean, he started in the A gap, bounced to B gap, bounced to C, and then stretched it outside. And he continued to keep moving. That's a pretty big boy right there with a lot of speed running downhill. And that's the reason why you saw about 3 or 4 broken tackles.
Like a Frogger game trying to cross the road. And talk about a power back. And another guy that pretty much only played defense last year. So flipping sides of the ball, but still showing his worth.
Yeah, 6'1", 195. That's a big, powerful back.
First down this time. Hatt passes wide open up the middle And complete just short of the goal line. Now they wait for the clock to stop. Caden Smith on the reception. And actually, the clock will continue. You usually don't.
Nice little play action, and the receiver got inside leverage on the safety there, and that's the reason why it was completed. Safety at first had some really good coverage, and he was able to maneuver and get in front. Almost had that pass breakup, but he came down with it.
Eberle's in the backfield. He gets the ball and squirts right up the middle into the end zone. Crown Point is north of 40.
Yeah. Simple, just a little off-tackle power play there. Again, they've had success all night with that. We saw it with Ellison, too, as well, early in the game, first 3 quarters. It's been very tough for the Red Devils to stop that off-tackle. Again, they're running a 3-man front, and that's another thing that you got to see. They're running a 3-5 out there, so that middle can be exposed quite a bit when you've got some athletic offensive line like Crown Point does.
Attempt number 6 is true. 42-7 in favor of the Crown Point Bulldogs over the Lowell Red Devils. We'll step aside. You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Inferno in Lowell, Indiana, as Von Tobel Building Supply presents game night in the region right here on the Region Sports Network. Von Tobel, building better together. Crown Point leads 42-7 over the Lowell Red Devils. I'm Matt Sossler alongside Doug Aschenbaugh. We started to see the second unit for the Bulldogs. We get a squib kick here. Picked up. And a solid gain for a squib by Owen Thiel. And we'll see if Lowell counters with their second unit as well.
Smart move there. Keep it out of Cole Scott's hands. Obviously, he's the one that's had a lot of, the electricity for the Red Devils tonight on some returns. Obviously, the 69-yard touchdown run that he had. Keep it out of his hands. They don't want to give up another score right now, especially on a kickoff return.
Lowell is still going with their first string with Colton Scott in the backfield and Cam Crago under center. He lines up in the pistol this time around. First down and 10. Whistle blows. Timeout called by the Red Devils.
Interesting to see here if they go back to that kind of power up the gut run and see what they got. Obviously, they had success, long touchdown run there. They've built all the years the program's been built on that kind of powerful run. So kind of interesting to see if they go back to it and see what success they have.
The clock stops for the timeout. Again, it is a running clock with the exception of timeouts and scores. Everything else, such as an incomplete pass, the clock will continue to move as we have 7 minutes flat left in the fourth quarter of week 1. Week 1 of a very, very long season that will end just after Thanksgiving at Lucas Oil Stadium, hopefully, for these teams that we see here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect night for football. Like you said, 60 degrees out. I mean, football's back in the region, and that's exciting.
Crown Point got off to a very hot start. They scored their first 21 points on their first 3 drives. Lowell shut them down for the rest of the first half, and then Crown Point scored on back-to-back drives to open the second half. Crago Hands off to Scott. He tries to bounce, but to no avail. Good effort by Carson Granger on the tackle. Brings up second down.
Yeah, just they tried to go back to it. Unfortunately, the D tackles, the nose guards that you got up there was able to get some pressure in the backfield immediately, which made him bounce outside. And again, talking about linebackers, even second string, they're showing some athletic ability at that linebacker position.
You got a guy like Scott. If you're watching this film tomorrow, are you going to tell him not to wait behind the tackle and just when you hit the corner, go?
The one thing that's really hard is real time. So when you're seeing that, obviously your gaps are closing quicker. You're trying to bounce it outside. You're trying to cut it back in. I think that's one of those where when you're handing him the ball, let him kind of go out and do his thing and read and run.
A botched exchange from Crago to Scott. The ball finds the ground, waiting on the official signal, and Crown Point has it.
That's a big turnover there. Obviously, I get the scoreboard 42-7, but you still want to build confidence. You want to see some things be successful in your offense outside of just one play. And that's a big turnover there. Now you're putting your defense right back out on the field.
Looking ahead, Lowell will play LaPorte next week. So like you said, Doug, it's about building momentum into next week, having something on film that you can watch and say, hey, that's a positive. I know one of the positives is going to be Colton Scott's 69 run.
Yeah, absolutely. And in Lowell, year after year, they always play the bigger schools in the first half of their season. And I can tell you, though, it really does set them up for conference play and those playoff runs that we always see them do very, very well in. I mean, LaPorte was doing very well tonight, obviously, against a New Prairie team that has had many years of success in a row, was up 10-8 last update. It's going to be another tough matchup for him next week.
Trevor Keel on the tackle. Drag down Brandon Babjack. Brings up second down. We're under 5 minutes left in the final frame. Crown Point has matched their total that they put up against Lowell last year. They try to surpass that. Hat. Hands off. And a solid stop by the Lowell defense. Ben Clark on the carry.
Freshman in the backfield currently right now, getting some love at varsity time. That's got to be exciting for the freshman over there with Ben Clark.
You got to think about it. He just started high school less than a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and now you're on a varsity field on Friday night.
Hard to imagine. That was a solid run. He still has 3 years and the majority of another season left, depending on how far the Bulldogs go in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Not going to say the exact amount of games.
Talk about the next man up, man. They really are doing very well developing underclassmen and getting them in the game.
Talk about that. Another solid run.
Solid run off tackle there.
And it speaks to development for the program.
It does. I mean, you look at their sideline, obviously they're filling it from 30 to 30. They got a lot of kids over there. So you talk about development, you're getting freshmen in the game on Friday night, week 1. You're doing something right then.
It speaks to the youth programs.
Absolutely it does.
3.5 left on the game clock. Lawrence Clark checks into the backfield. Gets the ball. Correction, that's actually 36-10 Rawls. Gets the first down.
A lot of rotation there at running back. A lot of kids some game time here. Yeah, if it's 5 plays or so, there's again, you talked about it earlier, there's nothing like practice versus a game. And when you talk about in-game experience, and a lot of these younger classmen there are starting to get a lot of experience here in week 1.
You look at these young guys, especially when you're playing behind Larry Ellison.
Yeah.
It's 2 things. Either now's the only time you're going to get because Larry's going to take all the carries, or man, oh man, do you have a mentor in Larry Ellison?
Yeah, absolutely you do.
Rawls again. And at this point, it's just game 5, get back in the huddle, do it all over again.
That's exactly what it is. They're just, ground and pound a little bit here, keep that continuing clock obviously going, and get out of this game healthy.
30 seconds left on the play clock, 2:20 left, so 5 more plays for Crown Point, 2nd and 10. So there's a chance Lowell will get the ball back. Has some trouble with the football. Ask and you shall
On the
receive.
ground, still out. And it looks like Lowell recovers.
Lowell has the football. How about that?
A little unenthusiastic on the recovery there. It was a little confusing, but Lowell comes up with that one.
You say, talk about the announcer jinx. That's the announcer speak it into existence.
Yes, yeah.
So you have a minute 33. The clock will stop and then start again.
Looks like we got Kendall Power. Nope.
If you're Lowell right here, how much of the playbook are you exposing? What's your MO right now?
I don't think much at all. I mean, you got an empty set, though, here currently right now. Maybe you're going to try a couple of your pass plays that you wanted to try to get into this game and then see what happens.
Instead, they go with a QB run with Crago. Gains a couple. He's an injured
someone
Red
down.
Devil.
Clock will stop on an injury.
And that's exactly what you don't want to see in a
And
situation like
yes,
this.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it's just cramping up or something. You see that obviously a lot early on. Yeah, it looks like possibly just a cramp, which is good news.
Still trying to see who the injured Red
Yeah,
Devil
it's tough
is.
to see. And he's
It's being blocked by the trainers and the officials.
Kilmer out there checking on his guy.
Looks like that's Connor Patterson. Indeed, it is number 54. And Carter Patterson was one of the guys that spoke to the media prior to the season. And like I said on the pregame show, he was enthusiastic about backup center Dylan Cindy. We'll see who comes on to take Patterson's spot. But like you said, Doug, hoping that it's just cramping, fatigue, end of your first game. You haven't played a full 60 of football in quite a while.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like it's possible cramping up still there on the sideline there. So
under a minute to go. Field gets the ball. Is able to grind out a couple of yards before both teams come together. Lowell's going to have to get on the ball one more time. Yeah, another Red Devil's slow to get up. It seems to be all right. That's Ben Ruda. And I'm guessing this is just all fatigue. We haven't seen anything too significant.
yes, thankfully so. It does. You see a lot of cramping, things like that early on in the season. Thankfully, it's a little bit cooler. Normally, it's a little bit warmer at this time of year, but
Potentially the last play of the game. Hand off to Field. He can't even get back to the line to gain. 6 now 5. And Crown Point opens their season on the road. And they bring the heat to the Inferno. And they start off their campaign 1-0.
Just a reminder, we are at the Inferno again next week.
42-7
Slicers is also senior night.
is your final score. We'll step aside. We'll dissect this a little bit more when we come back. You are watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Since opening their doors in 1905, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply has worked with Indiana homeowners and contractors to provide quality building materials. Today, Von Tobel Lumber and Supply proudly serves Indiana from their locations in Cherville, Valparaiso, Michigan City, and Lafayette. A department for every room in your home, from building support to bathroom kitchens and more. They can even help you design your next project. Visit VonTobels.com for more information. Von Tobel, building better together. Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals, and bridges, everywhere you look, union carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like health care and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Welcome back as Von Tobel Building Supply presents Game Night in the Region, right here on the Region Sports Network. Your final from Lowell, Indiana. Crown Point takes week one, 42-7 over the Lowell Red Devils. I'm Matt Sassler alongside Doug Ashenbaugh. We're going to break this down a tad. Before we get to our superlatives, we're going to start by recapping what just happened here in Lowell. Crown Point raced off, scored 3 touchdowns on their first 3 drives, 2 from Larry Ellison, and then the third from starting quarterback Noah Ehrlich, and the ground game was just lethal early, Doug.
It was. And they also showcased their passing game, too, as well. Noah Ehrlich and his arm and his strength he has, and I mean, some next-level passing, next-level throws. The back shoulder throw to his tight end on Red Devil sideline, and that one I keep talking about when he threaded it right between the safety and the corner. Not many high school quarterbacks can throw a ball like he can. And then you talked about Larry Ellison and the run game that we had there. I mean, a lot of up-the-middle, off-tackle, powerful running, breaking tackles, 5 to 6, 7-yard chunks, and then a 15-yarder. I mean, on both their run game and passing game, really looked like it caught fire early on here in week one.
Both teams did not find the pay dirt in the second quarter, and I'll give you the chance here to talk about Lowell's defense.
Yeah, Lowell's defense, they run a 3-5 with those outside linebackers / DN. We called Malachi's name a lot. We called Wolgamuth name quite a bit too as well. They were doing a really great job, though, setting pressure on the edge, putting some pressure on Noah Ehrlich when we saw them stall on their drives because of that, a couple sacks in the game. So there are some bright spots in that Red Devils defense that we saw here in week one that they can continue to build off of going so. And then you flip it over to the Crown Point defense, and outside of that 69-yard touchdown run by Colton Scott, that defense played light out. I mean, they may have given, outside of penalties, under 50 yards tonight when you talk about it. We don't have the exact breakdown, but I would say it's pretty close to that. And when you come out week one and even under 100 yards you're given, your defense is doing something right, and it's led by, Will Clark, that linebacking crew that's over there, 6'4", 240 pounds in the middle, setting the tone. Is pretty spectacular to watch.
Like you said, with the exception of that Colton Scott run, the Red Devils spent the majority of the game in their own territory.
They sure did.
And had a hard time with that. Moving on now, at halftime, Crown Point entered with a 21-0 lead, and then in the second half, Seamus Mulaski made it 28-0, and then Larry Ellison got his third on the day, 35, and then Colton Scott got Lowell on the board, lit the torch here at the Inferno for the first time here in 2023. And I'll save you for now, Doug, because you're going to talk about Colton Scott a little bit later on in the post-game show. And then last touchdown, ones against twos against twos, mix and match with units.
Yep.
And then Josh Eberly found the end zone on a 4-yard scamper. Just nice to see the twos. We saw some freshmen get in for Crown Point. It just showcases the depth that the Bulldogs have. So that adds up 42-7 in favor of Crown Point. And let's get to our superlatives, our awards, starting with the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. We will name the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. They have offices open from 9 to 7 Monday through Friday and Saturdays until 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Doug, who's your superhero?
Of course, we've been saying his name quite a bit tonight with very, very powerful run-in, up the gut, breaking tackles, really kick-started that running game for the season for the Crown Point Bulldogs. And that insurance superhero of the game is going to go to junior running back Larry Ellison. Again, can't say much more about how powerful and quick he has been up the gut. A lot of his stuff came from up the gut or off tackle there. It wasn't really much stretching outside the field. Really showcases how powerful of a runner he is.
Ellison gets the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowell Companies are the insurance superheroes. Our next award, the Proud Union Home Play of the Game. Yeah. I told you I was saving you for Colton Scott.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that play of the game goes to Colton Scott. Now, I get it, that didn't come on the scoreboard the way they wanted, but you talk about the longest touchdown of the night, showcase some amazing breakaway speed where I thought that safety was going to be able to catch him, and he started putting some yardage behind him. But that play of the game going to go to Colton Scott, and that 69-yard touchdown round straight up the middle. It was very electric play. It was very exciting. You saw some little bit of spark from that offense and what the Red Devils could do. But again, that 69-yard run by Colton Scott showcasing that breakaway speed is our play of the game.
The Proud Union Home Play of the Game, presented by IKORCC, the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters. Up next, the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game. This is a guy that you didn't hear myself call a lot. He showed up quite a bit on the stat sheet. Doug, floor is yours.
Yeah, the blue-collar player of the game. And again, it's not always about the winning team and who it is. It's really that tough grit player that's been out there. And like you said, he really did light up the stat book today. He came with 3 touchdown saving tackles, which were crucial. It stalled on 2 drives for Crown Point with those 2 of those saving tackles, flying all over the field at the safety position. And that blue-collar player of the game is going to go to Max Arredondo. Again, I called his name so much. He was coming from the opposite side of the field, making tackles. The speed he has at safety. He had a couple pass breakups, some nice tight coverage too as well. But again, the 3 touchdown saving tackles were key. And like I said, two of those helped stall the drive for Crown Point too as well.
The Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Before we toss it to the Centier Bank studio, we want to provide some thank yous, starting with the management executive producer of the Region Sports Network, Chris Ramirez, our operations manager, Rich Castillo, our video coordinator, Claude Martinez, and our sports director, Jack Thiel. Moving on to our producers and our cameraman, Ben Tomer and Scott Stessel. And then special thanks to our coaches from Crown Point, Craig Buzea, and from Lowell, Keith Kilmer, our athletic directors from Crown Point, Bill Derula, and from Lowell, Patty McCormick, and to all of the viewers, thank you for tuning in here tonight. After the game, join Mike Zimja and Jack Thiel from the Centier Bank studio. They'll bring you all the scores and highlights from games from around the region, all from the Centier Bank studio. For Doug Aschenbaugh and our entire crew here in Lowell, Indiana, I'm Matt Sossler. Crown Point takes the contest over Lowell 42-7. Thank you for tuning to this presentation of high school football on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.